And then you understand that it's very, very simple at the end of the day. You have a few mechanisms that are human and always work.
Right.
So I named them by reactions, like there is the laugh, right? Something that makes people laugh. Yeah,
Right.
it will work.
Humor. Yeah.
Humor. Food always grab the attention.
Nice.
I have ads with food. I
Yep.
create static ads for Monday CRM. There is one ad with an avocado
No kidding.
saying like don't let your lead go cold. And it was very, very successful. It was one of the most successful ads. Why? Because
People
it's an
like food.
avocado.
Yeah.
People like food. It's not, walnut, cats.
Yeah.
Right? Cats, puppies. The internet is full of them. Why? Because the algorithm love them. Why the algorithm love them?
Because people love them.
Welcome to the Marketing Academy Podcast by G-CMO, where in every episode we sit down with a marketing expert to deep dive into a hot topic shaping the industry. I'm Yitzy Tannenbaum. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Marketing Academy Podcast by G-CMO. I'm Yitzy Tannenbaum, and I am very excited to be here today with Manu Cohen. Manu, I think before we jump in, I will, hopefully I won't embarrass you too much, but before you came, one of our producers here, who I will not name, but are in the room, told me that you are a creative genius, and they're very excited for this episode. So the bar is very high. Our topic today is creative, and you've done a lot of really cool things, from Wix and Walnut and now in Monday, in the world of creative. Those of you who haven't seen Manu probably seen his video on LinkedIn, 2 videos so far, and I think there's a third on the way, of his hiring video, which is just so fun. And I think all the companies you've been at have been very creative heavy. So you obviously know a thing or two, and thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So
And I apologize for the French accent input. The title afterwards.
people like the accents. It's a thing these days.
Yeah.
It's right here. If we're going to creative, people look for being unique and standing out. So, so maybe tell me about the beginning. Like, where do you start to get interested in creating these like out of the box ideas and stuff like that?
I think from the moment I entered the marketing field and I was always looking for it, it was for the creative, for the ads in particular. Also in France, there is a huge culture of fake ads, like huge comics and like always like they are just taking ads and turning them over the head and making them super funny. And I think like as a child, I was like very obsessed with that. I think it's fascinating, like how a girl can take like some shampoo and then like you have like these butterflies going out and like I always find it fascinating. People laughing on it was even more fascinating. And I think that, that's something I always were attracted to. And I was lucky to start my career at Wix in 2012 as French community manager.
No kidding.
Yeah. No one would guess. And so I had to create all the marketing in French. So it was a great way for me to learn. But mainly I built the social networks. It was social network almost. It was only Facebook back then, in French. And because I was a bit obsessed, I was I was following every post I was putting out. I was following how many likes, how many comments, what are the comments. And like that for 3 years, in French. After that, I moved to the language, like I became team leader of the languages team that was doing that, and then of the English team, and then of the whole group. And I was there for 7 years. So yeah, and that's how I learn what people react to. I think that's something that really care about, and I really enjoy analyzing, and that's why I always enjoy producing content and creating content. Yeah, 5 Super Bowls campaigns.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
What I really like also about Monday is it's the like B2B Israeli company that you take the subway in New York, or you drive like places in Europe, and you just will see random billboards and signs, and you kind of get excited about it.
yeah.
Which is very unique, I think, for B2B companies to use B2C methodologies. But it sounds like it's something that you've been doing like for quite a while now, is using those fun B2B exciting things for a relatively mundane products, right? Wix and Walnut, like these products are relatively, yeah, it's a project management tool, but you're able to bring a lot of creativity to it.
B2B methodology, like in marketing at least, the B2B marketing is very dry. When you talk heavy B2B, like everyone is trying to convince you, when in fact it's about seduction. It's not about convincing people, right? No one has time to be convinced, and like it's something is not working there. And I think that humans are humans. At the end of the day, we react to the same stimulus, and it doesn't matter like what you are selling. It's matter the matter is like what's the story that you are telling and how you are telling it. And my influences are much more than B2B, B2C. When I do my hiring movies at Monday, it's a French format named Bref that was brought to Israel by Cafe. And so that's really like it's a television short format that I took to do hiring movies for
Right.
public company. So yeah, so that's what I mean. I think like inspiration and formats, it doesn't matter where they come from. If they worked for me, if I like them, then there is no reason to use them to some extent in marketing.
But Manu, where do I draw the line between just catching and grabbing someone's attention, between actually explaining to them what the product is, what value I create? Because I think there is a line somewhere, right? Because we have to talk something about do I have to talk about the product? Is it just brand recognition? Well, where do you draw the line there?
So, like, sorry, if we take the example of the hiring movie, which is like the product is the company or the position we are trying to hire for.
Right.
If it's analyst or if it's something else. So what I do is that I have my idea, and then I sit with the HR and the specialist, meaning the analyst in this case, and I'm telling them, okay, what are your blockers? What are the messages you want to convey, right? And then I start writing and I include them in my script. Every script conveys the messages that I got. So, for example, in the analysis, they tell you that we have a lot of data, and Monday it's a data-driven company, etc., etc. And that's messages that I actually
Right.
got from them. It's like the brief. What makes the exercise a bit more interesting is that usually you work from the brief to the creative. I work from the creative. I have already the concept in my head.
Then you work backwards.
And then I got the brief, and I understand how I can use the different messages they tell me,
Right.
without one being too promotional. So, for example, I can start giving me a pitch, and then I get lost in myself, and then they bring me back. So it doesn't sound like I'm trying to sell. I'm even like I'm just like flowing with the concept I have in my mind, and to feel natural and to feel authentic. I think that's why people connect. But doing that, I still have in mind a very clear agenda of messages that I want to convey. It's a matter of how.
Right. And especially when you have a Super Bowl commercial, or you have a very short thing at a time, you're not going to be able to convince someone why to buy B2B product A and not B, but you are sparking their interest, right? You're giving them that one message that they're like, oh, I didn't know Monday do whatever, or hey, like I never thought of it in this perspective. And then, but so you're a lot more focused on pulling them in and getting them interested, but you're not really driving it home? Because you can't in a probably, right?
They doing marketing like this metaphor. It's like shouting in a stadium. Everyone has the same shirt, the same color, like routing for the same team, and trying to. And people think that the one who will shout
the loudest.
the loudest will be the one who wins.
Right.
And everyone is trying to shout the other, so it's impossible to hear, and it's impossible to win that way. The way to win is to be different, to be the guy with the red shirt in the middle of all the yellow shirt, right? Once you do that, then you can start convincing.
Right.
Because once you have the attention, then you can start convincing. But trying to convince without grabbing the attention is a lost cause.
It's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time, of energy.
Your analogy makes it sound very easy. Just put on a red shirt when everyone's wearing yellow. But in practice, when we're all doing marketing, when we're all have a ton of ideas, but you tend to be able to figure out how to do it. And I guess my question to you is, where do you draw inspiration? How do you get that idea of standing out within all those yellow shirts?
The rule number one is to know the rules, right? You need to know how to build a brand. You need to know how to build a message, because if you are trained enough to feel very, very comfortable with the rules, then you can start bending them, right? Progressively. It doesn't have
Interesting.
It doesn't have to be in one like you don't have to go crazy all the time. But I think that because I am in the creative marketing field for so long, I saw everything that was done. I followed everything that was done. I saw, I don't know, dozens of beautiful creative ads, Super Bowl ads in particular at Wix, because we are following the Super Bowl
right, yeah.
for the 5 years that we did it there. And you say like, okay, that's brilliant. But more than that, I really take my inspiration everywhere. I wish everything I see gives me inspiration. It can be on Instagram, a format that I saw. It can be on TV. It can be on Netflix. You know, you have like so creative. You have creativity everywhere. The question is just that I'm very focused on marketing. So as soon as I see something that I can use afterwards, I'm like, oh, I put it in the corner of my head. I will use it one day.
It's like a comedian, right? Comedians like, oh, they're in the shop, something happens, they quickly write it down.
Exactly. There's something like that too. Like when something catches you, you're like, okay, I need to keep it somewhere, and because I'm gonna use it. And yeah, so you have the rules and you have the inspiration, and then you just mix and match between things that actually make you enjoy. Like I can't do good creative if I'm not enjoying it. I have to enjoy it.
So essentially, you're your first audience. If you're excited about the thing, then you know other people will be excited of the thing, so you do it. Right?
Yeah, and sometimes like I can be excited and no one is excited, and then I throw the project to the bin. but yes, and also I'm questioning myself a lot. It's not that I'm coming with something and I'm like, okay, I got it. It's amazing. I'm doing something. I'm showing to many people with different opinion. I hear what they have to say. I try to improve it as much as I can, and once I've done any improvement I can to make it my best, then I publish it. But it's never like, okay, I have this idea, let's do it. It's always like also a peer review and yeah. So
No, I think in the creative world, though, you have to fail. If you never fail in creative, then you're doing something wrong. I think, right, there's something, because you do all these crazy things, some of them will land and some of them won't. It's like a comedian. Not every joke will be funny.
Yeah.
And it's part of the thing. You check in, and that comes back to testing and looking at the data. Some things land and some things don't, and that's okay. That's part of it.
It's very hard to accept.
Yeah.
But yes, that's absolutely true. I think that you need to accept that you will fail. You need to accept. I tell you what, it's even when it happens, it's really not nice. But failing is the best way to renew yourself. You have to fail in order to
To move forward, right?
move forward and to improve yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah.
So you've done a ton of creative, and I want to kind of steal from your brain. What is working? Like, what works? What doesn't work? Do you have any, like, as prepping for this, you gave us some really cool, like, also random ideas, like, what kind of animals work more, and any, like, kind of quick tips to our marketing listeners on, like, kind of what you found over the years doing creative, of things that work and things that don't work.
When I worked at Wix, social media lead or head of social media, I had this test experiment that I was running once a year, was sharing the exact same post to understand how the engagement is going. Is it going up? Is it going down?
Interesting.
And
And you wouldn't, exact same thing.
exact same post. Exact same post, just to see, because people don't remember 1 year.
Of course not.
Yeah? And so, and the community isn't getting bigger because, like, it's in millions. It's not.
And more people are following, so more engagement, and people know the brand more. So theoretically, there should be growth.
The opposite. So theoretically, social media doesn't really care about how big is your audience. You know, they want you to pay. so the number of followers doesn't really matter at some point.
Right.
What matters is the engagement.
Mhm.
Like, you want as many people inside your group of followers. You have, like, let's say 1 million followers. So the social media will try to show it to, I don't know, 10,000 of them, and they're kind, right? So why? So if you boost them and you pay. What's interesting with social media algorithm is that it's like they want to show people what they like, right? That's the second rule of social media. They want companies to pay. They want to show people what they like. So when you see that 1 year at 1 year difference, the newer post, right, the newest one, as what I discovered is, like, at 1 year of difference, the last post I published had like 4,000 more engagement than the former one. And so I understood that I did a lot of right moves during this year experiment that created, like, that every post created more engagement than the one before, to the point that the Facebook, in his kindness, thought, okay, this page worth more than what I estimated a year ago.
And they start showing it to more people because the more people are interested.
Exactly. And then I started analyzing the post, trying to understand what posts were the most successful and what were the reaction. And then you understand that it's very, very simple at the end of the day. You have a few mechanisms that are human and always work.
Right.
So I named them by reactions, you know, like that is the laugh, right? Something that makes people laugh.
Right. Humor. Yeah.
Humor. Food always grab the attention. I have ads with food. I create static ads for Monday CRM. There is one ad with an avocado.
No kidding.
Saying, like, don't let your lead go cold. And it was very, very successful. It was one of the most successful ads. Why? Because
people like food.
Yeah. People like food. It's not, Walnut. Cats.
Yeah.
Right? Cats, puppies. The internet is full of them. Why? Because the algorithm love them. Why the algorithm love them?
Because people love them. Yeah.
Right? So that's why at Walnut, these ads that were always winning with the cat and the lion.
The cat and the lion.
Your product demo before Walnut, after Walnut. And so, so you learn, like, this kind of identification. Groups, communities, right? Like, you have huge communities. On the internet, you have the communities, for example, of cat lover. If we take this example, wow, you put a cat on a picture or on a post, people will start saying, oh, it looks like yours, it looks like mine, and they start communicating between us.
Interesting.
Same with food.
Right.
Avocado lovers will start communicating. That's for you, whatever, And so you also create this connection between people through these kind of things, in addition to generate this first reaction that is almost inevitable, unavoidable, right? Which is the natural reaction you have when you see something cute. When you see something weird, what the fuck?
Right.
When you see something funny, you laugh. When you see food, you have this yummy reaction. And so that there are, like, all kind of levels of engagement, and you can also combine all of them. Right? You can have
a dog eating, or
there was, like, the Super Bowl ad. I think I don't remember when. with I don't remember which brand, but it was a long time ago. But the thing was Monkey Puppy Baby
Okay.
or something like that, or Puppy Monkey Baby. And they had like this weird creature that was a monkey and a baby and a puppy together. And that's exactly what they played on.
They're just like, how many boxes can I take?
Exactly. Let's take three cute things that everyone loves, put them together, and have this ad like about this monkey puppy baby, monkey puppy baby. And the guy is like singing that all the commercial. So that's also so that's what I'm saying is like there is this mechanism that's it's stronger than us, and it bypasses our intelligence.
It's just it's very very raw, and I never thought about it, but as you talk about it, my entire feed is those things, right? It's, hey, look at this cute puppy, or look at this a recipe. I probably won't make the recipe, but I don't know why I watched the entire thing. I'm like, I could make this recipe. Right? I guess there's something very very raw in just in those things.
The basic elements that you use, like I had this viral video I made for Walnut back in the day, also an hiring video, and I didn't know how to start it, so I took a dog in my hands and I say like, look at this cute dog, all right? And then I just throw it away and start working in the office, right? Because that's the purpose of it. These are the little things that can help, like really, like stopping for
Right.
half a second. If you get that, you are in a good.
You need to have a lot of confidence to come to your CEO and be like, yeah, I kind of look like a Bond villain, but
Yeah, I think it's always a risk, but in every company I worked for, if it's Monday, if it's Wix, if it's Walnut, the only thing that mattered was result and not hurting the brand. Right. So if you don't say something ridiculously stupid and you bring results, people will say that's the way to go. Even if they disagree in the beginning, even if they are looking at you like, sure of what you're saying, okay, are you 100% sure?
So you spoke a lot about results, and I agree, right? It all comes down to the numbers. Us marketers, we wake up in the morning, and like even before you get out of bed, you're like, wait, how many views did this get? How many clicks? What's the CTA? Blah, blah, blah. And it's also funny, like you'll invest a ton of money in one thing, and then it'll do poorly, and then you'll like on your phone, like on your way home, you have an idea, and you just record yourself, and then boom, like 1 point something million. You're like, what just happened here? So talk a little bit about how you kind of use data to influence creativity.
When I go out with a campaign, I want to be consistent. I want to have the same messages. Some with the product, some with avocados and plants and whatever, right?
The story needs to be consistent.
Yeah. You want people to be exposed. Like if person is like, no, most people statistically prefer the avocado. Right? They convert better, they engage better, and they bring more ideas, more money to the company.
It's so interesting that out of all the fruits and vegetables, avocado, that's the one.
I had like, I think I had coffee, a plant.
Oh, people like coffee, right? People are very opinionated about it.
Yeah, but I think the color contrast with an avocado that goes dark and also it's a pain. I didn't think about it, but someone made a video about my ads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he explained that it's a common pain. People who love avocado and they go dark too quickly and piss them off. And I think like, that's something that psychologically worked somehow.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I can't explain. But yeah, so you look at you put a bunch of ads out and you just like follow the results through the funnel until you see like who's the winner.
When do you kill? When do you decide, hey, I put out a few, this isn't working? When do you pull the plug?
Usually, I pull the plug. Like it's very easy on an ad to stop the ad that performs the less, that is the lowest performer, right? But when it comes to creative, a lot of creative just die in the box, right? They never see the day. Because my idea is not baked enough and I feel like it's not good enough because it's very good, but it can be too controversial. Without paying attention, I touch some topics that for me were completely neutral or innocent. And then someone see that and like, oh, you can't do that, A lot of my creatives at the end of the day dies. A lot of ideas I had, like for example, for the avocado, I wanted something with an ice cream. With an
Okay,
ice
yeah.
cream, like melting
Melting on your hand, yeah.
on the hand. But like the designer didn't manage to do it on brand, and so we had to kill the idea, despite that it was the original idea of
Right.
all the series, right? And because like it was not on brand, so there are many
Right.
different reasons to kill an ad.
So you told us about like where you get inspiration for creative ideas, the things that work. You mentioned animals, like kind of the raw needs of people. What are the things that you found don't work? What are the mistakes marketers do?
So wow, the mistakes market.
We could have a whole episode, eh?
Yeah. No, I think like it's funny. I made a presentation this morning on about like marketing mistakes,
There you go.
creative mistakes.
And you didn't even tell me about it.
Yeah, no, it's really this morning. I think like the first one is to try to convince, not to attract the attention, like
Mhm.
trying too hard to convince. The second one is thinking about the brief first and like getting the brief and putting our imagination on the brief.
It should be the other way around. Start with the creative.
You need to come with something that touches you, that make you laugh, that make you passionate,
Right.
and then
Start with the emotion, start with the creative, and then take the brief and put that on top of.
exactly. The biggest mistakes in marketing, in creative, sorry, it's following best practice as a mad person and being obsessed with best practice because that's the yellow people in the stadium. Everyone is doing the same. With AI, it's going to be even worse because everyone will use AI now to create the same brief. And like, so people will say, no, I trained the model. There is no such thing like a model, like it's not enough.
Right.
Right. So that's also a mistake that I think people need to be careful with.
Is there any like things that turn people off? Kind of the opposite of a puppy?
I think that
Like topics to stay away from or creative to stay away from?
I think that of course there are like we need to stay in the like not being offensive and things like
Right,
that,
right.
and like that's obvious. But for me, there is no marketing more annoying that marketing that is like exactly following the same recipe. Like you saw it 10 times. Like, I mean, like there is a part of me who want to say like respect like the people who is watching, you know? So and that's why
Yeah.
I think one of the most important thing, and that's the exact opposite, is authenticity, self-deprecation. Sorry, it's hard work to say, right?
Got it.
Knowing where you are good, knowing when you are less good. When I'm doing an ad, I'm looking a bit like an idiot,
Right.
right? But I'm not afraid of it because I feel like this absurd is something people can connect to because it's authentic, because, you know, and that's something that, in my opinion, is not enough used in marketing.
Right. And especially like larger companies, they do tend to overproduce, especially like social media. They overproduce. And then it looks amazing, right? Theoretically, if you would take someone, transport them in time from the 80s and bring them to marketing gears, this is an amazing video. But we know that sometimes a random person in their car or someone walking in the sidewalk and just filming themselves is doing way better than the overly produced, maybe even famous actor. There's some, I think people are looking for authentic. And even like, I think the big brands that do well, right? If you think of like Ryanair or Duolingo, it seems like there's a 16-year-old just playing on their phone. It seems very, very raw.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the. I really don't believe that celebrities and overproduction and things like that are the secret to win. If I think about the best marketing ads and campaign that I saw in my life, or the best marketing move, or the recent marketing move, you had like the QR code on the Super Bowl.
That was amazing.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
On the contrary, I think the fact that you don't have budget or that your budget is limited, that's a blessing to become more creative. You know, it's like this dude that put a billboard like, hey, I spend a lot of money on this bill.
Yeah.
Please buy my stuff. Right? That's brilliant. That's brilliant not only because
everyone's talking about it the next day.
it's also brilliant because what he did, he broke the fourth wall, meaning
Right.
he said, this is an ad, right? That I created.
Yeah.
So please, like, you know, I had like, at Walnut, like I did this ad I had to create to add a product launch, and I said like I looked at many product commercial, and it's always like the same story of a person who has a problem, and he hold his head, and then like, you know, and so I made this ad that was like another product commercial.
Right. There's a parody of the product commercial.
Okay, then I say, okay, look, there is a sad guy, and he's very sad because he can't do this and that, and then you are like acknowledging that you are creating an ad, and that I think, like, as a viewer, having someone who tell you, look, I know it's an ad, I know you get it, like, let's go beyond that. That's what I was thinking about it because of the billboard we talk about, right? That the guy say, I spend a lot of money on this.
There's like value being meta, right? Like kind of like we're all in on the same joke.
Exactly. I think exactly because like I really believe that classic marketing will go and lose power as we go. Like, you need to be more creative. I think that what people are doing on TikTok and on Instagram, and the amount of creativity and freedom, and that's something that we need to be aware of, and
I think most marketers didn't especially in the B2B space. I don't think we fully figured out how to embrace like the raw social media. We could do the overly produced LinkedIn, that we know how to do. There are very few brands that at least come to my mind that are very strong on TikTok, right? That are creating fun, engaging stories, right? Like we don't see that often.
I personally don't have a TikTok account, and I will open it because I know I need to be there. You know, I'm not a big fan of the concept, but I have to be there. It's like when I was head of social media at Wix, I saw the 7th season of Game of Thrones in a week, so I could talk about that on social because that's a phenomenon.
Interesting.
And as a marketer, you need to know what's going on and understand the trends.
Right.
And so, absolutely, I think...
Actually, that's a really good point. Like what I really like when brands do is when they pick up on the trend very, very quickly, right? And my biggest pet peeve is the trend happened and the event happened and the corporate is going through the approval process and blah, blah, blah. And then they drop like the trend from a month ago and you're like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
Like it's so out of touch. It's so disconnected from...
It is hard in corporate to jump on trends. But it's rubber. It's rubber.
And we always see that on social media, that there's always that one or two company that like within like the same day, and you're like, yes, I don't know who's doing this, but this is amazing.
Yeah, it's always the same. Durex Durex of the world.
Whoever is doing what they're doing is, it's the humor. It's it's a very touchy, right? Like they could be like, oh, we don't want to. But they flirt with the like,
but yeah, they play with the line.
Like you know what, that may be, and I'm a big fan of this. If your boss isn't telling you no, then you're not crazy enough. You need to come up with a crazy enough idea that someone, you know, the CEO is like, how would you can't do this? But if they tell you no enough, one of them will get through, and that's the crazy. If they're like, oh, this is great, you're not flirting with that the line enough.
CEO at Walnut was always pushing me, saying like, this is not crazy enough, this is not crazy and like, yeah, I have a lot of crazy ideas, but sometimes when he was telling me that, I was like, okay, let's make it crazier. Sometimes we crossed the line.
Right.
It was too much, you know. Like for one of our product launch, we made a fake TED talk with a guy who was like telling like absurdities. For us, it was brilliant, but then people were like, okay, that's cute. And I'm like, okay, maybe we push it too far. But if you don't push it too far, you don't know, you are not getting close to the line probably.
Right.
So you need to cross it to know you crossed it, you know?
So do you encourage people, because sometimes you go too far and you can get in trouble. I would encourage, and I wonder if you would do the same, is, take the risk, and if you fail, yeah, it may be a little awkward, but the gain would be a lot bigger than the failure.
Yeah, I believe that the best way to learn is to try. And the only way to learn is to try, not the best way. The only way to learn is to try.
Right.
And so, yes, I encourage my team always to try. If, again, not everything they think of, but at the moment I trust he has good concept, you know what we're doing. I let him try whatever he wants.
Right.
Except if, you have things that are offending, or if we can improve the concept, I can say like, okay, that's a great idea, let's make it better. That's something I can say.
Right. Right.
But I will always encourage people to try.
But you never really know what will offend the market. Audience catch on to like the most random things, and just like, so you kind of need to take a risk, knowing like there are companies that get very close to that. Wait, is this going to be an issue? Is this not going to get it? But you want to be in the iffy place. At least that's where I want to be.
So I will tell you a story about my next ad, but it will be fine because it will be out by the time I tell this story.
Okay.
I'm trying to hire it's about hiring product managers.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to a guy in the company, and he's telling me like every product manager is like a Rav Chovel. And I said, like, I started. Rav Chovel is a captain of a ship, but in Hebrew, I started imagining Rabbanim Chovlim. Right? Like, we made with AI this crazy scene of like rabbis, pirates, like something very funny that's in my mind. But then people thought, okay, Rabbanim here, we can't, like, it's not, we don't want to offend people, we don't want to. And I was
That's
like,
great.
it's pirate rabbis, what's wrong? That's so funny. But like, that was like really like, and then when we edit the scene to be regular pirates, and we took off the Rabbanim Chovlim because there was something there,
Right.
not visually, that people were like, a bit cringe, a bit like not on point or not on tone, and you can't explain exactly what, but the reaction was there, and that's the kind of things, like, I think it illustrates your example, that you don't really know, but you can have a feeling.
Yeah.
I didn't have this feeling, but people did. So it means that if it touches...
I had the same thing happen to me. We were selling a email security solution. So I made a video with a Nigerian prince saying he's out of a job. And the people in America told me, you can't, this is racist. I'm like, it's not, the Nigerian prince is not an actual thing. It's fake. Like, you need to find that very sweet spot between very, very safe, but a little bit risque, a little bit out of the box.
Exactly. You have to take like, you can't do anything good if you don't play on this line. You can't do anything viral if you are not taking the risk. When I'm in my last hiring video, I'm talking to the CEO of Monday on WhatsApp.
Oh,
right?
cool.
And he told me like, okay, well, the movie was good. What are the results? So like, people can say, wow, the CEO is talking to employees on WhatsApp. It doesn't look good. And he asks, but
right.
That's a line that it's fine completely to cross because it's humoristic and people understand that, and it's like part of the style, and people are acquainted with me as a character and from the former movie. And I think that putting like Monday analyst as Smurfs, right? That's not necessarily an idea that everyone would be enthusiastic about, right? But it's funny when, like, that's exactly the kind of line to play with, right?
I feel also when it comes to humor and parody, we have a little bit more wiggle room.
Of course. That's, I studied humor in my thesis of master.
No kidding.
Yeah. on talk show, and like how humor like increase anti-Semitism and Islamophobia on talk shows in France.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
No, honestly.
Yeah, and the beauty, like what I remember, the only thing I remember for all these 300 pages was that the beauty of humor is that it lowers your guard as a viewer,
Right.
right? So if I tell you something laughing that can be offensive to you, I don't know, something that won't offend you, you are stupid,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So that, if I tell you that front, you won't
I'd be offended.
You won't, right?
Right.
And if I tell you, ha ha ha, you're stupid, right?
Right.
You read, and it's exactly the same message.
Right.
One was accepted, the other one, no, kind of accepted, the other one was not. And I think that's the beauty of humor, and that way I love putting
to connect with someone. People connect via humor, right?
Yeah.
You see in dating, right? Like the number one thing she wants is someone who makes me laugh. There's something very raw and connection, I think, in humor.
Absolutely. And if it's authentic, and it's not just a lot of jokes that you pull out,
right.
And it's something that actually, like, you are, but they think that in my ads, I laugh at myself, right?
Right.
And so, like, it's authentic. It's not, I'm not trying to laugh at other people or at other companies. I'm not trying to, or at no one.
So Manu, before we finish up, I think a lot of companies, we're especially bigger companies, we're so tied to like results and business results. How do you tie these crazy creative things to tangible business results?
I think that you have like a tangible element you can measure, and you have something you just know, and it's very hard to measure. Right? But the amount of people, for example, that came to Monday and told me, I saw your movie. I came with. There's not people who send their CV through the link I put in the post. There's people who just like remember that, stuff that it's cool, stuff it's something they like, and well, that's something crazy. On Yom Kippur, I was walking on the street and someone stopped me. I was like, I don't know you. I know you are the guy from Monday that made this video. I love it, and you're like, that's so random, and because people remember it. And you can't measure accurately what people remember.
And look, we're all affected by it, right? We walk into the mall and we go to this brand and not that brand because we've been conditioned for our whole life to have a feeling about Coke and not Pepsi, right? Or this car, not that car.
The symbol, the story, and the consistency. These are the three things that make big brands. You think about Jordan, you think about the symbol, think about the story, and you think about the consistency. You have, I wear Jordan all the time, like, and they're in the market for, I don't know, 20 years or more, 30 years, right? Apple, of course, and I think that these three things together make things memorable. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't matter if Jordan sells you headphones,
right?
Because you are like,
because we're conditioned for so long to feel.
I love the story, the symbol, and the right. So whatever they sell, they already bought me through that, and that's where brands know to do an excellent job, is when they become product agnostic. When the brand is the story,
no matter what they put out, and I think Apple is a great example, right? Jordan is a great example, and there are many.
Nike in general, I think, and that's I think that's the ultimate goal, to have a so strong story, then the product can change, can evolve, can be different, can diversify, and still keep this consistency in people's mind.
And that starts from strong creative over a very long time. So I think that wraps everything up. Manu, thank you so much. I think I laughed the most in this episode than I ever have. Just there are a ton of funny and cool ideas, and I think you very much encourage me, and I think many of our listeners, just to go out and do something stupid. I want to thank real quick Google for Startups. If you have a startup, this is a great place to come, and you'll have a place to sit and people to hang out with. We have 3 awesome producers who help this whole thing happen. Rotem Simon, Shachar Kedar, and Atara Ron Levy. Thank you so much for your help on making us look way better than we actually do, and maybe in your case, putting in subtitles. No, I'm kidding. Manu, thank you so much. This was fun.
Thank you so much.